Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It is time to start the baseball show. I guess we're starting the baseball show here with a nice cold opening, but the show must go on. And hey, we're here to talk some Major League Baseball on a Wednesday full slate here. Yes, I got to say, the most upsetting thing for me yesterday was the odds boost with Chris Sale to get 6 strikeouts, which he did get, which they did have a 2-0 lead for the Red Sox, and they did lose that game yesterday to the Orioles. So I'm upset with that one, but here we are. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We're the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. The Mets sweep a doubleheader, Jason. It doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But, this is the thing, though. The Mets, they'll play the Braves over the weekend. Donnie will be rooting for the Mets, and hopefully the Mets could sweep the Braves and maybe give the Phillies a chance at the playoffs. We'll see there. But, like we talked about, all games are, like the Red Sox, for example, right? They played the Orioles. Easy win there, and then obviously they need that win, and they end up losing that game to the Orioles. So every game that you see on the slate is a must win, but doesn't mean they're going to win that game. That's why we're here to break down the games and let you guys know I guess the angles that we like the most, so that you guys don't get burned. But yeah, I like the Red Sox yesterday. They obviously burned us, although Salvador Perez for the Royals did get a home run and helped us win that odds boost, which was huge and made me profitable for the day.
There we go. By the way, we started this show April 1st, which means we've been going at it April, May, June, July, August, September, heading into October. 7 full months, Kyle. And as they like to say in horse racing, and down the stretch they come.
Hey, Kyle missed the show, by the
Friday,
way.
the last 3
Kyle
full shows,
one
Kyle.
show.
Woo.
I did miss one show. I apologize for missing that one show. That was poor by me. I believe I was ill on that one. I mean, you mentioned the Perez odds boost. That was the one thing I got right. And I did warn everyone the Red Sox felt like a trap. I did say that. It felt like a trap. Of course, the Astros started scoring late. We needed that game. We needed the Rays to have 4 runs, essentially, is what needed. They would have scored that 5th run. And, of course, the Reds are an absolute joke. As you guys so astutely said in the chat box, it's hard to trust them. So Cardinals got some plus money in the first 5. That helped out a little bit. But looking to have a bounce back. We're on a nice run. Hoping for a nice bounce back day today.
Yeah, I got a couple games. I'm going to go to 3-pack today, and also a decent odds booth that showed up on the board here at Fox Bet that we'll go over in just a little bit. But welcome into the show. 89,900 subscribers. So we're less than 100 subscribers away from 90,000 total at sportsbookreview.com. Thank you guys for that. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do that and turn your notifications on, because when we talk baseball, at least Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll be able to come in and check it out before we hit the postseason. Let's get right into the Major League Baseball card today. Yesterday, I thought the Yankees would win that game, and the Yankees did win that game as they line up again today. Playoff atmosphere in the 6th. Garrett Cole versus Jose Barrios, -110, so roughly a pick-em across the board. Jason, we were talking before the show here. This is one of those games where if Garrett Cole pitches dominant and he wins this game, he gets the Cy Young Award. If he gets lit up, that opens the door for another Toronto Blue Jays pitcher to possibly get the Cy Young. But the Yankees are on fire. I look at Cole on the mound today. I just trust the New York Yankees more than I do the Toronto Blue Jays. I liked the Yankees yesterday. I like them again today.
Yeah, it's funny. I think Robbie Ray right now, according to sportsbooks, actually is the favorite to win the Cy Young. So it will be interesting to see if Cole does have a big performance, if he gets back, to being, I guess, first in the race there as we head down to the final days of the regular season. But yeah, look, Garrett Cole, he's done a really great job against Toronto so far this season, holding them to a 2.02 OBA in 23 innings. That's a 2.74 ERA, so through 4 games. So he's been pretty good against them. Then Barrios, obviously a guy that kind of came over, from the Twins and went to the Blue Jays. He's also been pretty good. Lately, funny, actually his last 2 games were against the Twins, where he allowed 3 runs each in those games. But against the Yankees, he's it's been a hot and cold little thing for him. He had the 2.70 ERA on the season, but that's just in 1 game for this year. So the Yankees obviously have more power in their lineup, can do plenty of damage against righties when it comes to Rizzo, Judge, Stanton, Gallo, and Gardner. All have high ISO power numbers right now against righties. And, Cole, this is his moment to shine in New York, or for the New York Yankees, not in New York, but a game for New York. This is what he signed up for. So I expect a big game out of him and a really exciting game throughout. But I guess if I'm going to make a play on this game, I'll take the under. Trust in both these pitchers in a pressure type game, and you'll probably see a tighter game in this one.
I agree with the under. I do in that one.
Yeah.
This is also a fun week as well, betting-wise, because, again, like you said, FanDuel Sportsbook has Robbie Ray minus 200, Garrett Cole plus 150. We're going to talk about a pitcher coming up here in just a few moments, Max Scherzer, a minus 160 now to win the NL Cy Young. And if he pitches a great performance tonight, he's probably going to wrap that up. So some good stuff. A lot of times, these are already done on the season. Hey, this guy's the Cy Young far and away. Doesn't matter what his last start does. So it's kind of interesting that some of these pitchers coming down to a Kyle. 30,000 people in the crowd couldn't help Toronto yesterday in that game, as they now need a win versus the Yankees, but they were helped out yesterday by the Baltimore Orioles knocking off the Red Sox. So a fun one here coming down the stretch in the AL, particularly the AL East, to get those final two spots in the wild card. What are your predictions tonight? Maybe a side total, or which way you're looking tonight between the Yankees and the Blue Jays?
Yeah, this game features the lowest combined weighted three-year OPS as if you take the pitchers versus the lineup. Berrios has been solid against the Yankees, a 48 in his last appearance. Of course, it's the lowest weighted three-year OPS on the card, with Garrett Cole of 590 against Toronto. So I do like that under 4 in the first 5 innings. I think both starters can pitch well. And look, I know Garrett Cole's had some rough starts here lately, and the Toronto lineup is certainly a talented lineup here. But when I look at a first 5 innings, minus 0.5 at plus 115 with Garrett Cole on the mound, it's hard not to take a little sprinkle on that. Simply because, Berrios has been solid. He's been very, very good since he came over. But it's Garrett Cole, right? And he is the better pitcher of the two here by whatever margin you want to give it. When I see a plus money number next to Garrett Cole, I'm always intrigued by that. So I lean Yankees first 5, but I do like that under 4 in the first 5 as well. You can get that at minus 105.
Yeah, it's a good one tonight. We'll see what Garrett Cole has in this one, but both of these teams obviously need to win coming down the stretch. The Yankees basically playing everybody they need to beat to get into the playoffs. What a time to get hot when you are playing those teams. So should be a fun one to watch here. Phillies and the Braves we'll talk about next. Same thing last night I told you. Zach Wheeler's going to be really good, but you just trust the Atlanta Braves more than you do the Phillies. And again, tonight, it's the same thing. Aaron Nola is a very good pitcher. You're seeing on the mound here, they're getting a plus 122 to plus 125. Same exact story as last night. Look at the Phillies lineup. Look at the Braves lineup. The Braves are better. Trust the Braves. The Braves will win again tonight over the Philadelphia Phillies. Nola will probably have a really good performance. Go 6 or 7 innings, 100 pitches, 7 or 8 strikeouts, and keep the Phillies around. But once again, it will be the Phillies bats that are the downfall of this baseball team. So that's the way I'm leaning again. I think the Braves pick up the victory tonight, Jason. Which way are you looking between the Braves and the Phillies?
Yeah, and to your point, that's why I agree with the under in the first 5 innings here between Nola and Fried. Now you look at Max Fried, for example. This guy, he's been throwing quality starts after quality start. His last outing, 4-0 win against the Padres, allowed just 3 hits, got 4 strikeouts, but 18 ground balls in that game against the Padres and 7 fly balls. Any game where you get 18 ground balls, that you're on your game right now, and that's what Fried is. He's been on his game. He's allowed just 6 runs in the last 5 games, and again, he's been so great when it comes to quality starts and just giving the Braves a chance to win every single night. But on the other hand, you have Nola, a guy that has pitched really well, but has been a little bit unlucky when it comes to batting or balls in play. Batting average balls in play sitting at 361 in the last 30 days. So while he has an xFIP of 299, striking out 35% of the batters, walking under 4% of the batters, the batting average balls in play is an issue, and that's why he allowed 6 runs to the Pirates in his last outing and struggled against them, even with the Phillies getting the victory there. So, Nola, he's been a little bit unlucky. I would think that has to change eventually. He's been pretty bad against righties as of late. Of course, the Braves are going to have plenty of righties in the lineup. Nola, 415 weighted OBA in his last 50 play appearances against righties. So, to Donnie's point, the Braves, they do have the better lineup. They should be able to score more runs in this game. So, you expect a 2-1 game. See what the bullpens can do after these two guys exit the game around the 7th, 8th inning, and you'll go from there. But the under in the first 5 innings looks really good at 4.5 in this game.
No, it certainly does. And you just take a look at the lineup that you have structured. And keep in mind the Braves, you probably lost your best player in Ronald Acuna overall. So what did that front office do? Go out and get Jorge Soler, cheap as hell. Adam Duvall, cheap as hell. Rosario, cheap as hell. Go out and get Jock Peterson, cheap as hell. And every one of those guys has really been a help down the stretch here. So you take a look between organization to organization. The Phillies have a lot of high-priced guys, but the producers in the lineup right now, man for man, are with the Atlanta Braves. That's why they had the lead in the division. That's why I think they win again tonight, Kyle. What are you leaning or what are you looking forward to tonight in the Phillies and the Braves?
I think that under in the first 5 innings is sound. I will say the Braves team total over 3.5 at -145 at BetMGM sort of has my interest here. Now, Nola was very, very good in his last start against Atlanta, put up 60 fantasy points. He was terrific. Fried, for that matter, his last two, only 21 combined fantasy points against this lineup. So the Phillies have had some success here against Fried, and we may get to that in the odds boost round. But the reason I kind of like that the Braves team total, look at some of the players in the lineup and what they've done off of Nola. Austin Riley, 9 for 24, 3 home runs. Adam Duvall, 9 for 29, 2 home runs. Dansby Swanson's been terrible, but he still has a home run. Travis d'Arnaud, 2 home runs in his career off of Aaron Nola. Freddie Freeman, 2 home runs in his career off of Freddie Freeman. So we've got some guys who have hit him for power. 4 runs seems like a doable spot in a game that they need to win. This is going to be a good game. I think Atlanta can get to 4 runs, so I'm leaning to the Braves to get to that 4 runs. Look, if you want to go the Philly side, I get it. They have been better off of Free than the Braves have been against Nola. But when I look at those power numbers, bloop and a blast, you're halfway there, as Bon Jovi would say. I'll take the Braves team total over 3.5 at BetMGM at -145.
All right, next game up on the docket here is a late night game. That is between the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers, a -300 favorite towards the Dodgers over San Diego. And it looks like I'm now listing Weathers as the pitcher on the mound. I did have, Dinelson Lamet a little bit earlier today. It doesn't matter. Just it doesn't matter. They could throw Cy Young himself on the mound for the Padres. They're not winning this baseball game. Max Scherzer's on the mound. He's going to wrap up the NL Cy Young Award-winning victory tonight. Who knows how long he goes, but he just needs an honest effort. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, get in, get out. He's going to win that. And also, hey, look at the Padres here. No surprise. September 10th, 9 games over 500. They're now officially under 500. They will lose tonight, and they will bust this team up in the offseason because they have no future if they're going to keep this same team together, finishing 23, 24, 25 games back in the division rates. One of the more underachieving teams that I've seen over the past decade here is the Padres. But again, it's no surprise. We saw it coming September 10th. I'm actually just surprised they won 1 game since September 10th here, Jason.
Yeah, it's funny, just going back to Max Scherzer. When the sticky stuff started to get, the crackdown started to begin, we were all concerned. Maybe Scherzer won't pitch the same. Maybe Garrett Cole won't pitch the same. And here we are talking about how these pitchers have been so dominant this season, and they're going to help their team get to the playoffs. So it looks like, these pitchers have, adapted at least without the sticky stuff they were using. And whatever they're able to use, they've adapted and they've pitched well without, whatever they were using previously. But to your point, Scherzer, he did struggle in his last outing in Colorado. But again, that was in Colorado, a little bit harder to pitch. No excuses. But, I mean, that's the reality. Outside of that game, he was a stud, all of September, really all of, August too and whatnot. So with a 2.28 ERA and a whip of 0.83 in his probably final game of the season, Scherzer probably has the Cy Young wrapped up. And like you said, he should have a great game, should pitch just fine with 35.8% strikeouts in the last 30 days and not walking many batters as well. And then you go to the Dodgers against Weathers here. Obviously, we know one guy here, Kyle, hates on Weathers a lot, thinks he's a terrible pitcher, and he's basically right. But Weathers has pitched better as of late, 3.37 xFIP, and walking just 4.5% of the batters. But again, the Dodgers lineup, just from top to bottom, looks really great. So I think Scherzer wraps up and the Dodgers get the win.
Dodgers are probably going to win 104 games, finish with a run differential of over plus 250, not win their division, and then probably get a team that's a 22 or 23 game win streak in a 1-game playoff here, Kyle. Exciting times here as we wrap up the regular season, but It's very simple cap for me. Max is on the mound. Padres stink. Easy W.
Yeah, and the problem is you're not getting any value. Even on the run line in the first 5, it's -185, right? So it's a little tough to go there. I will say this, I'm a little bit surprised by the Dodgers team total. Ryan Weathers, look, I reverse jinxed Michael Wacha yesterday, so I want to be careful here. I want to be very careful. And I wasn't even going to have a play of the day, but I think this game has changed my mind. Ryan Weathers' last 3 starts against the Dodgers, here's his fantasy totals: 0, 0, and 4. This guy profiles horribly. It's an 847 weighted 3-year OPS. You go over to BetMGM, you get the Dodgers over 4.5 at -140 against Ryan Weathers. They could do that in the first inning. I'm going to take the Dodgers over 4.5 -140. We may be seeing that on the best bets on the board. I love how that lineup profiles. I love the Dodgers and DFS. If you like a little odds boost action on DraftKings, you can get Scherzer to record 10 plus strikeouts at plus 290. I think that's certainly live tonight against this Padres team. Like the Dodgers, I like that team total. And hey, we're gonna welcome that as maybe a best bet in the banker to honor the chat box with arms wide open. Let's go.
There you go. Get that Scott Staff Cowboys jersey when he performed down in the old Texas Stadium. Well, exciting times here. Maybe a rebirth of Scott Staff coming back. Let's see what happens here. Now it's time to get to some value menu wagers on the card today. I got a 3-pack today, so I'll give out 1 play now, 2 plays in the next segment. You know where I'm going? Jason's going to be happy with this. Those New York Metropolitans tonight. Hernandez on the mound, the righty. A horrendous last month in Major League Baseball with close to a 6x FIP number. But the thing we like the most here, struggling mightily with left-handed hitters. 377 weighted on base average and an ISO power number of 241. Lindor, Nimmo, Conforto, VR, McNeil, all lefties in here. And also, keep in mind, some of the right-handed batters matching up very well versus right-handed pitching this month. First 6 guys in the lineup tonight, last 30 days versus right-handed pitching. Weighted on base averages, 488, 380, 341, 393, 458, and 332. The Metropolitans tonight go over the 3.5 at minus 140 at BetMGM. Jason, what are you looking at today?
Yeah, I'll go right to that game as well. I'm on the Mets over 2 in the first 5 on the team total. Got it at minus 120 via WinBet or PointsBet. You can get that as well. The 2 is good insurance. Obviously 2.5 I don't mind, and of course you need one more run to get Donnie's wager. So any of those work for the Mets. I do think that they'll end up scoring plenty of runs in this game early. And to Donnie's point, there's a lot of lefties in the lineup that will go up against Hernandez. Nimmo, Conforto, and Villar all have a home run against Hernandez in his short career. So lots to like in this lineup for the Mets, and so I'll be on that one as a value play. And I guess I'll give out one more value play and then save one for a little bit later. But I'm also going to be on the Indians if we can get to this game. I'll also be in the Indians 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total, going up against Daniel Lynch, a left-handed pitcher that has really kind of struggled all season long. Lynch has a 6.62 xFIP in the last 30 days, striking out just 16.7% of the batters and walking 9% of the batters. The ground ball rate is low. The line drive rate is high. Hard contact also high. And he's horrible against righties. A 397 weighted OBA and an ISO of 305 to righties in his last 69 plate appearances. I know the chat's going to say something about that, but all righties in the lineup for the Indians. It's probably going to be all 9 righties in the lineup against the lefties. So, a lot of great matchups there. I think the Indians get over 2.5 in the first 5, and they've already done that twice against Lynch already this season.
All right, Kyle, auto-tune Purviance here. Give us some value on the card today.
Look at that. I got to show off my talent. Just wait till you see me in roller skates. Holy moly, I can dance around that ring. Look, I know the Cardinals have a tougher matchup today against Hauser, and they did secure that playoff berth last night. So you wonder if there's going to be a letdown here. But don't you think now with that streak going, it kind of gives them something to play for? They want to go in hot and talk about this historic win streak as they go into the postseason and get ready for a single game showdown with. They could be playing the Dodgers, which could be an amazing, 1-game playoff game there. I'm going to take this Cardinals team total over 3.5 at minus 125. Look, until they prove me wrong, this team is winning games. They're scoring runs. And if they're going to continue to win, you got to think they get to 4 runs. It's a 636 weighted OPS. Hauser's been okay, but I will say in 3 of his last 5 starts, he has 28 or fewer fantasy points here, a 28 in his last outing against this team. I think the Cardinals get to 4 runs and keep it going tonight. So I'm going to put them on the value menu over 3.5, minus 135. And I want to call this a value menu wager, but I do think the Giants get to over 4.5 runs over Merrill Kelly today. He has had some success against them in the past, but they profiled nicely. The lineup is hot. They need to continue to win to secure that division and avoid that 1-game playoff. I like the team total for both the Cardinals and the Giants on the value menu tonight.
All right. And by the way, yes, R.I.P. Jason's landscaper here, as Jefferson Seat says. Why? Because he no longer lives at that same residence, people out here. So, hey, so long to the landscaper here. Let's get to some odds boosted here. There's a lot still to go over. Look, you're trying to find some value here to there. Some of these teams don't seem to care, but I'm going to bet on a baseball player that I think really cares about how he's perceived tonight and how many wins that he can possibly rack up in the last, I guess he's saying, Wednesday? So we've got Thursday, Friday. Probably his last start of the year for Max Scherzer. I think he has a good one tonight. Why am I going to prelude to that? Fox bet tonight. Max Scherzer, who is listed at over a 300 favorite for the Dodgers to win the game. How about if Max collects the win in this game? You get a plus 100 number here. That is my odds boost today on Fox Bet. Just bet it here. Light amounts here, $25 plus 100, just to have some action down on this game. But that's the way I see it here. If Max Scherzer pitches well, the Dodgers are going to win. I mean, if they're down late and they come back, okay. But Max Scherzer wrapping up the Cy Young tonight with a tight performance. I think he gets the victory tonight. I'll take that plus 100 here, Jason. Where are you looking on your odds boost tonight in Major League Baseball?
Yeah, so look, the Yankees they're going streaking right now. They're playing really great baseball, and that's due to Giancarlo Stanton hitting home runs. And so on FanDuel, for him to hit a home run, boosted from plus 350 to plus 450. I'm going to roll with that. He has an ISO power number of 308, a weighted OBA of 416, going up against righties in the last 30 days. And I don't think I think how long has it been that he's hit a home run? I think it's been like 4 or 5 games where he's hit a home run now on the season. So he's got one on the 21st, missed on the 22nd, hit another one on the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, and also the 28th. So yeah, he's been on fire recently, and that's why the Yankees have had so much success later in the season. So yeah, we're gonna go with Stan to hit a home run, boosted to plus 450.
All right, Kyle, where do you got your odds boost today on a Wednesday in Major League Baseball?
Well, the home run odds boost was so good to us yesterday. We're going to go back to it here on DraftKings, and we get a great number on a power hitter. Bryce Harper to hit a home run boosted to plus 500. Bryce Harper in his career off of Max Fried, who, by the way, is just a little bit worse against lefties than he is against righties over this 3-year sample size I'm using. But in his career, 7 of 17, 3 of those hits went for extra bases, including 2 home runs. I think Bryce Harper can get it done tonight in a big spot for the Phillies. I'll take that number. Boosted from 400 to 500. It's rare you get a player of Bryce Harper's caliber with that type of number against, not necessarily a Cy Young Award winner here. So I like Harper. Plus 500, hit a home run. Let's go.
All right. Let's see what happens here. Let's get to the best bets on the Major League Baseball board. We're going to have 3 plays, as I said, all weighted exactly the same. First one we had up on deck, the Mets team total, 3.5 at minus 140 here at BetMGM. Second one I'm going to, how about this? Bad baseball game? So what? I'm going to go up against a really bad pitcher, particularly over the last 30 days. Cleveland at Kansas City. I'm going with those Cleveland Indians tonight. How about Lynch's xFIP here? 6.62 to righties this year. Keep in mind, he is a lefty pitching to righties. Weighted on base percentage, 397 with the ISO power number of 305. How about the expected lineup tonight for the Indians? All right-handed batters. So we're going to take a look at that. 405 at minus 105. I think they can get the 5 runs tonight. And then also in a nightcap, I'm just going to ride out this hot wave. Seemingly just having their number time and time again as the Seattle Mariners over the Oakland Athletics. If we take a look at the pitching matchup tonight, Montas is going to be on the mound. Lefties have absolutely crushed him over the past 30 days. Looking at the lineup tonight for the Mariners, Crawford, Seager, Toro, Kelenic, Fraley, Bowers, and Raley, all lefties in the lineup tonight. Look at this cheap price, 3.5 minus 105. That 3-pack tonight, I expect no less than going 2-1 tonight. Jason, where's your best bets on the Major League Baseball board today?
Yeah, so Kyle touched on this game already. I like the Giants over 2.5 in the first 5 on that team total at minus 125. Last night we had the Giants as well in the first 5. They decided to score 4 runs in the 6th inning and didn't get that ticket. But I think they're going to score a little bit earlier today. If you look at Merrill Kelly in his last 2 starts in September, since he's come back from a month absence, he's allowed 17 hits, 10 runs in 10.2 innings pitched with 13 ground balls, 24 fly balls, 4 walks and 3 home runs with just 8 strikeouts. Also, you go back to his last start against the Giants, went 5 innings, allowed 11 hits, 5 runs, 2 home runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts in just 5 innings of work back on August 11th. So the Giants should be able to do some damage against Kelly. And like we talked about, the lefties in the lineup for the Giants, Stella, Wade, Crawford, Yastrzemski, Duggar, all guys with high ISO power numbers against the righty. And also, of course, Longoria and Bryant have some good weighted OBA numbers. Posey, the one guy that's struggling, but we know that he's capable of figuring it out eventually. So I love the Giants lineup again today. Like how they profile. We'll roll with them again and hopefully get the win this time around.
All right, Kyle, stroke it up here. Let's go. Best bets and bankers on your Major League Baseball board.
Look, we touched on this. I'm going with that Dodgers team total over 4.5 at minus 140 over at BetMGM. It's just a fade of weathers for me. When you look at this lineup, I have 8 hitters in the green with advantages of 15% or more. Ryan Weathers, about as bad of a starting pitcher as you're going to find on the card today. That's as mean as I want to be to him. I don't want to jinx him into a 6-inning no-hitter here. But I think the Dodgers get 5 runs. The lineup profiles beautifully. High-weighted OPS on the card near 900 today. Dodgers over 4.5, -140 over at BetMGM play of the day.
All right, there we go. The odds lightning round. Let's get around Major League Baseball to see what we missed on this card. Possibly game coming up in about 15 minutes. Washington and Colorado. Espino versus Lambert. -120 here at most outlets here in New Jersey and also offshore. As high as 12s showing up at FanDuel, but primarily 11.5s. If we take a look at this, Jason, between Washington and Colorado, any thoughts? Let me just get a quick weather update here on this one. Wind blowing in at 11 miles an hour, 72 degrees out in the thin air of Colorado, Jason.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Lambert. He did okay in his last outing coming back from the IL since like 2019, but I still don't trust him. Now the Nationals are hitting 48% ground balls against righties in the last 30 days and also just line drives 17% of the time. So nothing to like with this Nationals lineup, but when you have a guy like Soto in the lineup, when you have a guy like Bell in the lineup who have done well against righties, I still think I like the Washington Nationals more than Colorado. And, of course, Kyle telling me that the Colorado Rockies might have a better record than the Mets at the end of the season. There's no chance I'm going to tell you guys to pick the Rockies. So really the Nationals here. Espino hasn't been great either, right? A low ground ball rate and a high line drive rate is not going to cut it either. But maybe the weather will help them just a little bit, and the Nationals can get the win.
All right, next game we'll talk about here, 68 degrees in Pittsburgh. I actually had this game as a circled possible play. Pittsburgh's team total over 3.5 at -135. Hendricks versus Contreras, 8.5s across the board. Slight favorite here to the Cubs, 114s, 118s, 120s, depending on your shopping here. Any looks here, Kyle, between the Cubs and the Pirates in that one?
I sort of like the over in this game. It's kind of shocking how bad Kyle Hendricks has been recently. I mean, he was pitching well, and he has fallen off a cliff. 3 of his last 5 games, he's had negative fantasy points, including a -2 against this Pittsburgh team. 735 weighted OPS, and of course you have. Is he debuting? Is this his first start ever for the Pirates tonight? This Contreras kid. I don't have a ton of data on him. So you've got a debuting pitcher. Do I love the Cubs and Pirates lineup? No, I don't. But both these pitchers can be had. Both these bullpens can be had. I lean the over 8.5. I don't. You more than likely would want to lean the Cubs here with a kid debuting on the mound, but Hendricks has been so bad. So I would slightly lean to the Cubs if I'm picking a side, but I do like the over 8.5. I think both teams score some runs tonight.
All right, Boston and Baltimore. Eovaldi on the mound tonight, going to try to shut down that Baltimore lineup, which, Chris Sale did a good job through 5 innings, but it's usually the bullpen of the Orioles lets you down, not the bullpen of the Boston Red Sox. But we'll take a look tonight. Lothar, the lefty, is going to be on the mound. Heavy favorite for Eovaldi, 255 offshore, 270 here in New Jersey, 9.5 across the board. Should be a bounce back effort tonight for Boston. But any previews here between the Red Sox and the Orioles, Jason?
Yeah, I don't know. After yesterday, who knows? I'm seeing guys in the chat talking about how they're never going to bet the Red Sox again now after yesterday. So,
what a brutal loss.
You got 3 guys or maybe 4 guys in the lineup that are capable of doing anything for the Orioles. Mullins, Mountcastle, Hayes, and Mancini. Mancini hasn't been great against righties in the last 30 days. The other 3 have been. But then you have a bunch of guys that are just going to kill the rally. We go to the ISO power numbers of 0.00. You go down that list for the entire lineup from 4 to 9 for the Orioles against righties. So the Red Sox, they have the better lineup against Lowther of the Orioles. He's walking 12.3% of the batters, so he puts himself into trouble. And you would assume that the Red Sox would be able to capitalize with guys on base with a high line drive percentage of 30.9% against lefties in the last 30 days. So, the Red Sox, they're going to get the win today. I guess they're going to hope the Yankees end up losing. I don't think they will, but it'll be a fun day in the American League, and we'll see what happens.
Elisa Hernandez on the mound today for the Miami Marlins going up against the New York Mets at 169 offshore is a favorite to the Mets here with Walker. 176 is to 180 here in New Jersey. 7.5 as a total here. And I think the New York Mets get after, Elisa Hernandez. But if you are looking at the Marlins, I guess they're still a game back. They can still get out of the basement here in the NL East. So a lot of pressure here for the Marlins to not finish in the basement yet again. But as I like to say, Marlins fans love this, man. This is exactly where they want to be. What are we looking at here in this game tonight between the Marlins and the Mets, Kyle?
Yeah, do the Marlins really care if they finish in last place? That's what they are. They're just
last place.
They
made the playoffs last year, by the way.
Yeah, again, they had a negative run differential. It was a shortened season with no fans, so that doesn't mean a damn thing to me. But I do have to say, I considered that Marlins team total over 3. Taijuan Walker stinks. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm sorry, Jason. I know this is your boy, and he somehow made an all-star team, but this guy's an absolute can on the mound. He's been dreadful since the all-star break. Hasn't been great against the Marlins, 17 and a 20 in his last couple of starts against him. If the Marlins lineup wasn't so inept and just so devoid of talent outside of what Chaz Chisholm, I would have considered it. But if you're going to bet this game, I honestly do think that's a low number. You can pay the juice at over 2.5 at BetMGM and get it like 165. I think the Marlins can score some runs here. There's no way I'm taking the Mets with Walker on the mound. So I say the Marlins live dogs tonight, and they could. I would lean to that team total over 3.
Yeah, Jeffrey Loria, the last owner of the Marlins, should be in jail. Derek Jeter should be in jail for fraud as well. But it is what it is down there in Miami. And maybe they'll move to I guess probably better. Would you like it better if the Marlins moved to Montreal, or at least maybe they would build them a nice stadium and fans would go out to see it? Maybe they would operate a little bit differently. But if you are getting paid by the rest of the baseball teams that try, why would you not try? Be like, if we showed up on the show today, myself and Jason showed up every day, but if Kyle didn't show up, we still had to pay him our equal salary. Why the hell would you? I wouldn't show up here if that was the case. But that's the position that baseball puts you in. You are making money as long as you can't be in the middle, because then you're going to be paying payroll. If you're at the bottom and don't want to pay anybody, the Yankees, the Phillies, the Toronto Blue Jays, whoever has the hype, the Dodgers, they will give you money to make sure that you're profitable. It's amazing.
They have to go somewhere else, though, because I still haven't forgiven Montreal for what they did to Dino Bravo. So until they apologize for that, no baseball for you.
We're Bret Hart, the Montreal screw job.
I mean, I'm about to watch that. I'm watching that 97 year in order. I'm about to watch that Montreal screw job. Fascinating. But what that mob did to Dino Bravo over a garage full of cigarettes is just unacceptable. Unacceptable.
The dark side of the rings are great, man. That was one of them, too. It's hilarious stuff. Detroit and Minnesota, Mize versus Pineda, 7:40 start tonight, -170 to -180, depending where you're shopping at. A 9 across the board as a total. Mize versus Pineda. Any thoughts here on this meaningless game, Jason?
Yeah, look, you can't trust either of these pitchers. I guess I'll say the Tigers might have the better lineup, I guess, against righties. They're hitting line drives 22% of the time. They have a weighted OBA of 300, and a solid amount of guys that have some power, like Baddoo, Candelario, Castro, or Harold Castro, maybe Robbie Grossman as well. So I guess maybe the Tigers here, the bottom of the order for the Twins has a little bit of potential against Mize, who is not getting many ground balls and giving up a lot of line drives. Either way, I think both pitchers are pretty bad, and I would agree with the over in this game between both these teams.
All right, keep it moving down the list as we go. How about this? This is good. Another interesting one. Milwaukee and St. Louis. Doesn't matter who St. Louis pitches, who's in their lineup. They beat frontline organizations like the Mariners this year at will. Hauser versus Michaelis, another low number. It's almost like the books are saying, we give up. We're going to put these numbers so low that you're just going to be forced to take St. Louis every single night to see if it even makes any sense. 8's across the board. Now, my question here coming up here, Kyle, is because do you want to go into the playoffs hot? Yes, you do. But you are now locked into your position. So some of those guys during that 17-game streak to get you in the playoffs expended a lot of energy, banged up, bumps, bruises. You want to give your bullpen the night off. You want to give some of the guys in the rotation to make sure that you are healthy, rested, and ready to probably take on the Los Angeles Dodgers next week. But do they continue on their streak? If you look at the game tonight, because they said, it's like, hey, you're going to face Woodruff, ace on the mound. Now it's no longer an ace on the mound. I think St. Louis loses tonight because it doesn't matter anymore if they win. The only goal for St. Louis is to get healthy, rested, and ready for next week, Kyle. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's interesting. And by the way, remember we kind of bagged on Tyler Alexander yesterday. Did you see that damn pitch that he threw that went completely over the backstop? Did you see it?
Congratulations.
He threw the pitch and it went over the backstop. Way to go, Tyler Alexander. That was the worst pitch I've seen since Conor McGregor tried to throw a pitch. How funny was that? Anyways, Conor McGregor, you can't be a pro athlete and act like you're a tough guy when you throw the ball like a 4-year-old toddler. No, he's
a PR guy. He's just a mook.
He's a mook. Anyways, moving on to this game. It does feel like a trap, right? Like you want to keep riding this Cards wave. You get a plus 130, minus 0.5 in the first 5 innings. Everything says, hey, even Mikolas, who is, certainly past his prime, 89 fantasy points in his last 2 starts against Milwaukee. In fact, in his last 5 against Milwaukee, only one time did he have less than 35. He's got 39, 46, 55, and 35. So it's pretty impressive. Uh, Pat Patterson. Yes, I worked for Pat Patterson and still in therapy. I'm still in therapy.
Oh, rested, man.
Oh, that is an absolutely that's a gem. I got sidetracked there. So it does feel like a trap. I don't disagree with Donnie. I probably would stay away from this one. Like I said, I do think the Cardinals still get to 4 runs. Their bats have been hot. Hauser not as great lately. I'll take the Cardinals team total here and not worry about who wins because it does feel a little trappy after finally securing that playoff spot last night.
Junk in the trunk on the mound today for the Angels versus Hearn. I mean, what a fantastic pitching matchup this one is. And just to let you know about my guy Junk on the mound, yeah, Hearn is an actual favorite in this game at -122. It tells you everything you need to know about a guy named Junk on the mound. 8.5 to 9 across the board. I guess we're just on Ohtani watch to maybe hit a couple more home runs, but he's already sealed up the AL MVP award. Take a look at this game, Jason. And again, another really bad game, but it is what it is in the last week. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, look, 2 bad pitchers and 2 pretty bad offenses. Now, I will say that the Angels, they are walking 11.6% of the time against lefties. They'll have a lot of righties in the lineup. I think they profile a little bit better. They're also not striking out too often, just 18.2%. So I think I like the Angels more in this game with Hearn giving up 26% of line drives in the last 30 days, but then also Junk not getting many strikeouts at all, 11.8%. Also, line drive rate is high and the ground ball rate is low. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see runs from both sides, but also like both offenses aren't too great. I would just say the Angels probably have the better offense when it comes to profiling against the opposition.
Cleveland, Kansas City, Plesac versus Lynch. I think Lynch is going to get lit up here by the Cleveland offense. 4.5 -105, so it's low juice on that one. Need to get the 5 runs. Slight favorite here for the Cleveland Indians, Kyle. Any thoughts on this game? And 9s across the board as a total.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of Lynch here, and I like how that lineup profiles. -0.5 in the first 5, +115 for the Indians here. Do I love Plesac? No. Do I think he's better than Lynch? I certainly do. By the way, you see how I'm not the rambler anymore? I'm pretty good at getting through these pretty fast. Jason? We've changed rules. I mean, I do like to ramble about things not baseball, but I mean, when you talk about Pat Patterson, what the hell do you want me to do here? There's nothing I can do. There we go. There's that hand raise. I'm going to certainly miss that. I'll take the Indians -0.5 in the first 5, +115, and I do think that team total is live. I agree with Donnie on this one.
All right, keep going down the list. Tampa Bay and Houston, Rasmussen versus Garcia. Slight favorite here for the Houston Astros. -130s across the board, 9s across the board as a total, as both of these teams head towards the playoffs. Any odds or advantages here in this game, Jason?
Garcia has been a little bit worse of a pitcher. Low strikeouts and high walks, also high amount of line drives. So I do think the Rays, obviously they'll get a lot of lefties in the lineup against the righty. That should do the trick against Garcia. And I think the Rays should be able to score at least 3 runs in the first 5 innings.
All righty. And let's take a look at Cincinnati and the Chicago White Sox here. Gray versus Rodon on the mound. -167 offshore here as a favorite towards the White Sox. -170 to -172. As high as 180 here at PointsBet in New Jersey. 7.5, some 8s also on the board here today. Cincinnati basically dead in the water. White Sox waiting for the playoffs. Any advantages in this one for you, Kyle?
I like the under in the first 5 innings, under 4.5 at -125. 2 of the better pitchers for each team. Obviously, you can't trust that Reds lineup to save your life. The White Sox can be very Jekyll and Hyde and already have their playoff berth secured. So I'll take the under 4.5 in the first 5 innings. I want nothing to do with either lineup today. Gray profiles pretty nicely against the White Sox and has pitched well against them. 49 in 2 of his last 3 starts against the White Sox. A 667 weighted 3-year OPS, only a 524. So that's the lowest. Garrett Cole's the second lowest on the card. A 524 for Rodon. Profiles really, really nicely today against those right-handed bats he's going to see for Cincinnati. If you look over his last 3 years, Rodon struggled against lefties, 889, only a 478 OPS by right-handed batters. Against Carlos Rodon, you have 8 projected righties possibly in the lineup tonight. I don't think it looks good for the Reds. I like the under 4.5 in the first 5 in this one.
Arizona and San Francisco, Kelly versus Wood tonight, -275s to -280s here on the board. It's a heavy favorite for the Giants as they try to hold off the Dodgers and win the NL West crown. 8s across the board. Any thoughts on this game, Jason? Arizona and San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm on the Giants over 2.5 in the first 5 and the team total at -125. That is a value play for me. And like I said earlier, the Giants profile really well against Kelly, who has been awful in his last 3 games. starting for the Diamondbacks. So expect the Giants to score one inning earlier than last night, and should be good to get this win here.
All right, over 300 people in here relaxing. I'm sorry there's no food talk. Trust me, we might bring some food talk here a little bit later in the week, particularly on Friday, as we have a celebration to end the regular season here. Last game, we'll talk about Oakland and Seattle, Montas versus Gilbert. Hey, man, Mariners got their number, but this is a cheap price here. Minus 110 for the home team here, the Seattle Mariners. Kyle, any thoughts between Montas, Gilbert, Oakland, and Seattle?
I'm trying to find this A's team total here. I don't know why it's eluding me, but I do.
If it's 1.5, it's too high.
If it's 1.5, exactly, it's too high. But they do profile pretty well. They've been good. Only 35 combined fantasy points in his last 2 starts against Oakland, a 743 weighted OPS. Montas, on the other hand, has been really good against Seattle. His last 5 starts, 49, 55, 61, 43, and 39. I think the A's are live here. Do I trust the Rays? I think everyone knows that I don't. Get a minus 0.5 in the first 5 again at plus 120. I'll take the A's in the first 5 innings here. I just think there's value there. I like Montas a little bit more than Gilbert.
All right, let's wrap it up and clear the bases here for our Wednesday Major League Baseball show. I think it's a pretty good card here. I think we win some money on this one. My 3 plays today all bet evenly for us. The Mets team total over 3.5 minus 140 at BetMGM. Cleveland's team total over 4.5 minus 105 also at BetMGM. And once again at BetMGM, the Seattle Mariners team total 3.5 minus 105. I do have an odds boost in tonight on the Fox Bet website book. Max Scherzer to get a win tonight, plus 100. Sign me up. 4-0 tonight, Jason. What do you got tonight?
Yeah, so I'm going to be on the Mets over 2 in the first 5 on the team total. That is at minus 120. I'm also going to be on the Indians over 2.5 in the first 5 at plus 105. And then the Giants over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 125. And of course, the odds boost on FanDuel, it's Stanton home run at plus 450 on, like I said, FanDuel. I guess I'll be the one to jinx it, but it's whatever. Stanton get a home run here.
All right, Kyle, what do you got today? Clear those bases.
Is it really your birthday today, Donnie?
It is my birthday. I was saying,
happy birthday.
What are you doing out there? Come on,
you don't look a day over 43, my friend. Don't look a day over 43. Is that what you're 44? Or 44 today?
44, it's close. 4 is double
44. Not bad. Happy birthday to Donnie.
Time to retire.
Hey, you know, we give him a lot of crap around here, but a real pro's pro, all the work he does behind the scenes, and nobody, trust me, I host a couple shows, nobody organizes it and does it like Donnie does it. So happy birthday to you, my friend.
Thank
We love you around here. My plays today, Giants team total over 4.5. I like that today quite a bit as well. The Cardinals team total over 3.5. Those are both on the value menu. Our play of the day, the Dodgers team total over 4.5 minus 140 over at BetMGM. Our odds boost, Bryce Harper to hit a home run boosted to plus 500 over at DraftKings. For you strikeout under props, Jason touched on Zach Lowther. He's only got to 4 strikeouts twice in 11 appearances. 5 total strikeouts and 2 starts against the Red Sox. I think he goes under 3.5 strikeouts today at plus 110. And our home run list, Bryce Harper, Austin Riley, Aaron Judge, and Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, back. You got to win on your birthday. Sounds like a 4-0 night here coming in for me. But that'll do it for the Wednesday Major League Baseball show. We'll be back on Thursday and also Friday, and then we're going to wrap it up and head towards the playoffs so you can actually pull down a championship. Be a lot of fun because our strategies will be changing, and the shows will be why? Because we might have 2 games on a day. So we're going to delve into lineups, hitter props, hitter prop parlays, odds boost on those games, series winning bets here. Also, picking the series exactas, 4-1, 3-2 game, stuff like that. It's going to be fun to watch it play out. But again, we'll be back on Thursday. Thanks again for joining us here on the Wednesday show at sportsbookreview.com. I'm Donnie RightSide along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We have the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. This was your show for Wednesday. And as always, good luck on those wagers.